up in the Bahamas Tonight, residents of Inagua getting a new multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art community health center, plus Bahamian police and the FBI investigating an apparent suicide attempt on the Allure of the Seas, and the Ministry of Education renaming the Crooked Islands Primary School in honor of a prominent educator. Don't go anywhere. The Bahamas Tonight Weekend Edition starts right now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Weekend Edition. I'm LaDawn Davis. The Ministry of Health continuing its crusade to make quality healthcare services available on every island of the Bahamas. Yesterday, the ministry opened a multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art community health center in Inagua that now makes healthcare available for Bahamians living on neighboring islands. Shanique Miller has tonight's top story.
At a glance, it's breathtaking. A single-story facility featuring some of the most modern medical equipment and offering medical services found anywhere. With the center in stages of construction since 2005, Prime Minister Ingram says Friday's official opening ceremony was a long time coming.
With the availability of trained health workers and adequate facilities and supporting health infrastructure, residents here in Inagua will be able to have the best health care that's available in our family islands.
This community health center has a number of amenities that will benefit the residents on this island. Key is the telemedicine program. It will allow doctors here to liaise with their counterparts in New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Jackson Memorial Hospital.
You here in the family islands want to have access to specialist care, just like we in New Providence. And soon, very soon, we would expand that facility so that rather than you having to travel to New Providence or the U.S. or anywhere to see a specialist, that specialist would be able to conduct his or her clinic in New Providence between the hours of 9 to 12 and without you having to travel there. This clinic in Inagua is not only important to Inagua, but it's very important especially to the eastern and southern boundaries of the Bahamas, because you can play a pivotal role should there be any severe hurricane disaster or any medical disaster. You would fit the role to manage and accommodate all those in the central and the southern and eastern Bahamas.
And the new community health center can facilitate this. While there were other facilities that have provided health care services to residents of Inagua since 1908, the new sprawling community health center houses an emergency room, a male and female ward capable of accommodating up to 6 patients at a time, and an ante and postnatal wing. And this is just some of the health services now available. Now, the health center cost more than $3.5 million, double its original budget in 2005. Funded by the National Insurance Board, Prime Minister Ingram noted that NIB had to issue 2 different sets of contracts just to get to this point. Besides the doctors and nurses on staff, the center stands to provide additional employment on the island. Ingram advised the ministry to see that the vacancies are filled sooner rather than later.
The place requires some additional staff, and I would expect that health will be able to engage those support staff over the coming days.
But Mr. Ingram wants to see the health center do more than just treat sickness and disease. Rather, he wants it to play a preventative health care role on the island.
This facility, in conjunction with the national health initiatives, will help in promoting good health and healthy lifestyles for all. And that will include promoting maternal and child health, family planning and reproductive health services, childhood and adult immunizations, and school health services.
Doctors in Inagua have about 5,000 visits on an annual basis. There's also a doctors and nurses residence on the compound, as well as a guest house for visiting doctors. Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
Thanks, Shanique. Michael MPV Alfred Gray was also at yesterday's official opening of the Inagua Community Health Center. While he was proud to see the health center finally opened, he charged that it was the former Progressive Liberal Party administration who initially proposed building a health center on the island.
Way back in 2005, under the Christie's administration, this facility was started, and in 2007 It was about 95% completed. There are so many things that Inaguans need. The water facilities which we put in place in 2005 or 6 does complement this facility. There are other things which could complement it, Mr. Prime Minister, like the airport terminal. I'm sure you saw it, and I was very, very saddened by the fact that up to now, nothing has happened to that. I also want to say that, you know, he can't limit me to what I should say. They could have kept me off the program. But I want to say that Inaguans need a lot of things. And because this is election time, I'm sure the promises will be made. And I want to make some of them myself. I think we're going to fix the road. We're going to fix the airport terminal. We're going to build a high school. Because I know the Prime Minister can make promises too. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to make my promise. And so, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say that I am delighted because I believe that there are so many things that need to happen. And since the Prime Minister don't want me to say much more, I will just invite him to make some promises which we will keep.
Responding to Gray's remarks as well as clarifying what the Inagua MP told the crowd gathered, Prime Minister Ingram noted that the project had a number of problems from the start, and by the time it was finished, the cost had more than doubled.
Plans for this facility have been in place for many, many years and were fraught with challenges from day one. First of all, I want to tell you the National Insurance Board records say that they engaged 2 firms to construct this health center and the doctors and nurses residence nearly 7 years ago, back in October 2005. The tender process had great difficulties as there was an insufficient number of suitably qualified building contractors on Inagua to get competitive, real bids to build this facility. Given the vast scarcity of qualified local contractors, it was decided by the government of the day to invite contractors from neighboring islands within this constituency. It was also recommended that the project be divided into 3 packages to allow the smaller contractors the opportunity to build the residential cottages. It's always good to have a desire to help people, but sometimes it's at great cost, and somebody has to pay, and the payers are you, the people. The project dragged on for a number of years with no clear end in sight. No 95% complete in 2007, an outright lie. I am not in the business, Virginia's Alfred Gray, of making announcements and promises. I am in the business of delivering. I'm a deliverance man. I came today because we are delivering the health care here in Albert.
From Family Island Health to Education, the government will accelerate its distance learning program to benefit students in the Southeast Bahamas. The program is among a number of new initiatives that will enhance the classroom experience for students. Prime Minister Ingram outlined how Family Island teachers will soon benefit from the government's National Job Readiness Program. His comments came at the official renaming of the Cabbage Hill Primary School in Crooked Island. Here again is Shanique Miller.
These are the men and women who walked through the doors of the Cabbage Hill Primary School many years ago. They each have a story of how the school's first principal, Ulrich Ferguson, impacted their lives. Watching were the boys and girls of the school renamed in Ferguson's honor Friday. The challenges of Family Island education are well known, starting with what some may perceive as centers that often provide a second-rate education, only because opportunities available in a big city is often missing. But come September, students in Crooked Island and the rest of the South Bahamas will be exposed to the same opportunities as students here in New Providence. Prime Minister Ingram said the Internet will factor prominently in the way students learn.
It is possible for the government to accelerate its program for the distance learning now that we are connected throughout the Bahamas by Internet and good telecommunications, and so that students here can have access to quality education even if it is by distance learning. And of course, I expect that the library in Cabbage Hill will be established.
The government's school lunch program will also be expanded. Prime Minister Ingram admitted that the program could be improved, and he told Crooked Islanders just how their kids will benefit. The rest of the country, like children attending inner-city schools here in New Providence, will also reap the rewards of the program.
I expect, therefore, that come the end of this school year, beginning in September of this year, 2012, places like Capitol Hill, communities in the southeastern Bahamas, some of the inner-city schools in Nassau, and several other places in the Bahamas, that the government will, on a non-discriminatory basis, provide a hot lunch to every student who attend primary school every day. I also expect that in communities such as what you have here in Crooked Island, where students have to come long distances from Landville Point or Colonel Hill, getting up early in the morning, sometimes can't get breakfast, even if they can afford it, and sometimes they ain't got no breakfast. I've been there, done that. That the government of Bahamas will ensure that every child in these small communities like yourself have a breakfast every morning.
The Ulrich Ferguson Primary School has 28 students and 4 teachers. Now, small teaching staffs are common in schools this size, but the good news is very soon, this campus and others will benefit from the National Teachers Aid Program.
We are providing an opportunity for thousands of young people in the Bahamas to be able to obtain some training and to get some employment in a government-sponsored job readiness and training program. And I therefore expect that here in Crooked Island, you will benefit from it by having some teachers' aides who can assist teachers in the classroom to make up for the non-individual teacher per classroom.
Prime Minister Ingram toured the small but pristine campus. He also noted what was missing, a playground. So he announced that the students will also benefit from a brand new playground. The Ulrich Ferguson Primary School is the latest school to be renamed as part of the government's month-long program in honor of outstanding educators. Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
From the Daily Crime Report, police here in the Bahamas, accompanied by the officers of the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation and Broward County, Florida Sheriff's Office, are investigating an alleged suicide report that has left a British national dead. The incident reportedly occurred on Friday on board the Allure of the Seas, 1 mile off the coast of Cozumel, Mexico. Now, police say the details surrounding this incident are unknown, but an intense investigation continues. Police issuing 2 all-points bulletins for any information on the location of Gregory Sweeting and Keno Evans. Authorities need your help to find them for violating their bail conditions. If you know the location of any of these men, you're asked to contact the Central Detective Unit at 502-991 or 502-9910, Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS, or your nearest police station. Police here in the capital arrested a 26-year-old man of Adderley Street off West Street after officers searched his residence and discovered a large amount of suspected drugs and cash, believed to be from the proceeds of the sale of drugs. Police confirmed that the suspected marijuana weighed 4 pounds and has an estimated street value of $4,000. An active police investigation there continues.